You know, sometimes being isolated from people for so long, you start to feel like there's something missing in your life and you're just at a loss for... Oh, never mind, I found it. Good morning to you, and welcome back to today's Jrpg Weekly Update. I am SuperDerek, and I am recording live from my Jrpg Isolation Chamber. And I'm actually doing really well here. And I hope that you guys are too. So, I was a little concerned. It didn't seem like we were going to have very much to talk about this week until a little Nintendo Direct kind of thing happened, and then all of a sudden there's this avalanche of all kinds of RPG news that we have to get through today. So I don't know how long this is going to take, but hey, we got a lot to get through, and I'm really excited for that fact. It's been a little bit of a drought lately in JRPG news. I feel like I feel bad because, you know what, guys, I know that a lot of you are bored out of your minds, and I would love nothing more than to make more and more videos for you to watch, but there's just hasn't been a whole lot to talk about up to this point, but now there is. So here I am, and I hope you guys sit back and enjoy the ride. So let's start with a live stream that Square Enix was hosting for NieR's 10th anniversary special. Now, first off, what? It's already been out for 10 years? The first NieR? I can't believe this. Time has just been flying by, hasn't it? Also, they happened to announce a few things, one of which was exciting and the other was maybe not so much. So we'll start with the exciting bit. NieR Replicant Remaster was announced, and that's pretty cool. They say that it's neither a remaster nor a remake. They're saying that this is an upgrade version or a version upgrade or something. Like, what does that even mean? And all that they really announced about it is that it's going to feature some new content and also likely a new ending. And it's also going to be on some new consoles, which pretty much means it's going to be a remaster, which is why I think people are just kind of recalling it a remaster. They don't want to call it a remaster. It's a version upgrade, but that's Yoko Taro being Yoko Taro. It's coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Steam. No Nintendo Switch announced at this point, and I'm sure that some people will be disappointed by that, but you know. NieR Re carnation was also announced for mobile. This is a game that's coming to iOS and Android, also being helmed by Yoko Taro, and not really much else is known. And the fact that it's on Android and iPhone, I feel like not really much else is needed for me to not be excited at this point. And I guess also, while we're on the subject of Yoko Taro, Sino Alice is a game that's also coming to mobile that he's helming, so that's going to be coming in July, I think. But hey, we got the NieR Replicant Remaster. That's pretty exciting stuff. Also, Mary Skelter Finale was announced. This game's going to be coming to PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch on August 27th in Japan. Now, the game's going to include an adventure mode, so you can experience both previous Mary Skelter games as well as a kind of a spin-off game that they had released, but I'm not really sure what they mean by an adventure mode. In all honesty, I think it sounds like it's probably not going to play like the original games. So if you want to play the original games, I do recommend that you buy Mary Skelter 2 on Nintendo Switch, because it also includes a full release of Mary Skelter 1, which was previously only available on Vita. So make sure you check that out if you want to play both of the original games, to make sure you get the full experience before Mary Skelter 3 comes to the West, which hasn't been announced, but I think is pretty much a given at this point. So I feel like that's pretty likely. Now, during that Nintendo Direct Mini that I mentioned a little bit ago, they did announce that a new game is going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch. That's going to be a tactical RPG called King's Bounty 2, which I've not really heard of King's Bounty 1, but it sounds like that's probably kind of an interesting Western RPG, tactical RPG. Anyways, it's not just coming to Nintendo Switch, though. It's going to be coming to PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 as well, and it's expected to release sometime this year. However, Nintendo did say at the beginning of their Direct to kind of take all of these release dates with a grain of salt, considering current circumstances could be kind of extenuating for some of these release dates. So yeah, may as well take all of these release dates with a grain of salt when I get through some of those. Also, Level 5 announced Yokai Gakuen Y for PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. This game is related to the Yokai Watch series, of course, as Level 5 property. And it's going to be tying in with Yokai Watch 4, apparently, and it's going to take place in a school sort of setting and is based on a new anime movie and TV series that they're releasing over there. And also, it's going to be coming out sometime in summer of this year, they say. Probably. Grain of salt. Don't forget that. And I would also expect to see a Western release to follow, considering the track record up to this point. So, yeah, if you're a Yokai Watch fan, then this might be something for you to keep an eye out on. Also, during that Nintendo Direct I mentioned a few moments ago, they announced probably what is some of the biggest news besides NieR Replicant is Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is releasing sooner than I really expected. It's coming out on May 29th of this year. And during this awesome trailer, they showed off this Definitive Works Edition that they're going to be releasing alongside of it for pre-order. And that went out of stock pretty much immediately. So if you didn't see that announcement live, you probably missed out. And that's kind of a bummer. But yeah, it's going to be a Definitive Works Edition, which is kind of harkens back to some of the Xenogears Definitive Works books that I've heard of. So anyways, if you didn't get your hands on a copy of that, you're not alone. What can you do? In other news, though, during this same Nintendo Direct Mini, Bravely Default 2 had a new trailer shown off, and also in that trailer, they announced that, by the way, there's a demo out right now, and they want you to go play it right now so that they can, similar to what they did with Octopath Traveler, acquire feedback from players and use that information to help shape the final product. So if you haven't already done so, and if you are a fan of Bravely Default and Bravely Second, or even Octopath Traveler, because it's by the same kind of group, definitely check out this demo and see if it's something that you're interested in and give your feedback so that this game gets to be even better than it would be without it. And Trails of Cold Steel 3 also has a demo that is now available on Nintendo Switch for you to go play as well, which is pretty awesome. So if you've got not much to do, you've got a couple of demos you can go play for free on your Nintendo Switch. And this is also not really an RPG, but I think it's kind of gets an honorable mention, at least from me, because I know that there's a lot of fan overlap from Atlas fans, and that's that Catherine Full Body is getting a Nintendo Switch release around July 7th of this year, extenuating circumstances permitting, that is, of course. While we're also on the subject of other games that came out on the Nintendo Switch, it's not really a release date, but it's kind of interesting. Grandia 1 and 2 HD remasters on Steam as well as Switch are getting an update to version 1.01, which is going to be adding some Japanese audio voice options alongside several bug fixes to each title. So they're both getting Japanese, they're both getting bug fixes, which is great to see them supporting this, but at the same time, I really wish that the feature that they were introducing was the ability to turn off the sprite smoothing on Grandia 1. If you want to see my extended thoughts on that release, and I do have thoughts on that release, make sure you check out my video over here. And that also leads in nicely to this week's SuperDerek news, and that is that I also happen to release a video on Friday, and I think you will want to go check that out. It is my review of Seiken Densetsu 3, also now known as Trials of Mana on Nintendo Switch in the Collection of Mana. It is a little over 16 minutes long, and it's a review that I am really proud of, and I'm really happy with the way it came out, and I hope that you enjoy watching it. Also, if you happen to have a lot of spare time, it's not a bad way to kill about 15 minutes or so, you know? So definitely check that out, and you'd be doing me a huge favor by doing so as well. So if you've been on the fence about whether or not you should, play the game, get Collection of Mana, wait for the remaster, or any sort of thing like that, definitely go check out the review. It is entirely spoiler-free, except for, telling you how the game starts within the first 15 minutes, but otherwise, all my reviews I try to keep as spoiler free as humanly possible, so make sure you check those out. I'd really appreciate it. Also, future SuperDerek here, who's currently editing. I wanted to make a quick note to you guys that also I'm streaming through Trails in the Sky right now over on Twitch. It is my first time through the game, and if you find yourself with a little bit of extra time than you're normally used to, you could go check out what I'm doing over there when I start streaming around 6 p.m. Central-ish on Twitch. So yeah, come hang out. It's a lot of fun. And that finally leaves us with this week's JRPG Weekly Forecast, and we've got 2 games that are coming out, and I'll just lead with the one that everybody already has been just eagerly anticipating and awaiting. It's Operencia, The Stolen Sun, a game which obviously needs no introduction. It's an action RPG, though, by Zen Studios. It's coming to PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, and it is releasing tomorrow alongside another game, Persona 5 Royal. Wait, what? Persona 5 Royal is already coming out tomorrow? Oh, man. Honestly, I've known that it's been coming up for a little while. I had no idea it was so close, and I am nowhere near prepared to actually play that at release or talk about it during the launch window, so crap. Oh well. If you really want to know my thoughts on Persona 5, maybe go watch my Persona 5, not Royal, the regular, Persona 5 regular reviews over here in the corner. And watching that would really be doing me a huge favor, because that video is about to never get any views ever again, and I'm still really happy with the way that one came out. So, you know, watch my videos. I appreciate it, guys. And then that leaves us with today's question of the week, which is, what is your favorite platform to play RPGs on? And by platform, I mean which console, or is it on PC, or something else that I don't even know, handheld or something. I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see what your favorite is. I feel like my favorite console, I have a couple of different answers. The first is, it could be PlayStation Portable or Vita, because Vita can play PSP games, it can play PlayStation games, and with some emulation, it can play, you know, basically everything that came before. But I feel like that's sort of a cheating answer. I think that the real answer I have is probably Super Nintendo. I know that PlayStation 1 and Super Nintendo are kind of like in close contention for a lot of fans of old school RPGs, and I kind of go back and forth between the two, but I feel like I just am really tied to Super Nintendo, since that's where I found my love for RPGs, and there's still so many classic RPGs on it that I'm discovering to this day, including Seiken Densetsu 3. So I'd be curious to see what you guys think is the best console for, or platform rather, for RPGs. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I will see you guys next time. I am SuperDerek, and this has all been news to me. Stay safe, everyone.